We are gathered here today to mourn the loss of one Jason Lee. Gone but not forgotten, may his memory live on with us forever and ever. So would it be. And that's the intro.
And that's the intro.
New degree, who dis? That's the intro.
Yep, Jason's abandoned us. And he'll never hear this, so...
Right?
He won't listen to it.
I highly doubt he's going to listen. If he does, though, what's up, Jason? Miss you, bud.
Yeah,
Turn it down a little.
we miss him, but he's got a whole bunch on his plate right now. Here in about 3 or 4 weeks, he'll be really sick of it and want to do something else.
Yeah. Say he's starting a new phase of life. A new stage.
Yeah.
Not phase. Phases come and go. Stages.
Yep, stages stay.
It's not a phase, Mom.
I guess we'll do intros.
Yeah. The whole minute after the intro, we should say who we are.
After starting. So, I am Gary Roberts, the official holder of the plum in Lodge for Harmony Lodge number 21.
Very nice. I am AC Ransom, the holder of the moon, and currently the holder of the sun, because we're down one.
We're down one. He hasn't been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Harmony Lodge number 21. The bestest.
Yeah. So things are starting to pick up. For those that are listening in Utah, we've because of COVID last year, we weren't able to
do anything.
Do degrees there for a long time. We weren't even able to meet in Lodge. Towards the end of the year, our Grandmaster let us start meeting in Lodge for an hour with some restrictions in place. Those restrictions set by the lodges themselves. They created their own COVID plans. We got a new Grandmaster in January, the end of January, and with a new Grandmaster, all the old edicts are gone, unless he continues them. And some he continued, and others he didn't. And when it came to COVID, different plans came into place. So
we're able
to start meeting, and our lodge's master has continued our COVID plan with modifications from the temple board, and we had our first degree in a year for a guy.
Just a few days ago.
For a guy who had been...
Yeah.
Who had his scheduled, and we were going to do it like on that Tuesday night, and the word came out, no meeting, no doing, that kind of stuff.
I think it was planned for March too, right? So
yeah, it was almost like a year and a week is what we figured. He waited to become initiated into our fraternity. So,
and the fact that he waited that year actually impressed me.
It did me too, because
he was still ready and just waiting for it. No, as far as we heard, there's no complaints. He understood what was going on. It was worth the wait to him.
Yeah, it elevated him in my eyes a bit.
That's it. Yeah.
To have him submit to waiting, I guess, if you will. That was impressive. I was worried he was going to be one of those what we call in the Order of the Arrow sashers and dashers. They go through their initiation, we never see them again.
We've had a few of those, but I think that's part of the attrition system of not everybody reaches the third degree, and not everybody necessarily should.
Yep, agreed. So, but in knowing what I know now and seeing his efforts in the last year, it'll be, I have no doubt that he'll want to continue in our fraternity.
What? Yeah.
Going back to our newly obligated brother,
mm-hmm.
Did Worshipful ask you to be his coach?
Mm-hmm.
That is cool. That is super cool.
Well, in the lodge meeting before, I had volunteered, I'll do it if you want, and he said, we'll assign that later, and then later he came and asked me anyways. It's all right.
Oh, cool.
I was what?
I'm glad he did.
Say no?
I'm glad he did, because I love our Worshipful Master to pieces, but there are times when he'll we'll talk about it later, and we never do.
Yeah.
And so...
There's been a couple of times. This shows you how busy he is in real life and being a Worshipful Master. We'll schedule something, and then, the day of the schedule thing, he'll post in Slack, Like, hey, we should do something today. Like, hey, let's practice. Like, yeah, that was part of the plan.
Yep, it's on the calendar. And
But,
by the way, you scheduled it now for a half an hour sooner than it was. But that's okay. He's a busy guy. He's got a lot going on.
Yeah, say it's not. It's no shade on him. It just shows you how much is going on in life right now.
Yeah. So and he's getting his second year in the East.
Yeah.
Much deserved, but needed as well. It gives him an opportunity to go through a normal year as worshipful, I think.
Yeah, he didn't have much of a first year.
No.
At all.
So, but then we also have the other problem is there aren't many members that are eligible. Yeah.
Prepared
to be
worthy. No, just kidding. Worthy and well qualified.
I'm not worthy. So did I ever tell you this? I probably did. Growing up, I grew up in a little valley in southeast Idaho, just on the north end of Bear Lake, and I lived in a farming community. There were a whole bunch of farmers there. My family dairy farmed. That's what my grandfather did. And one of my grandfather's friends was named Worthy.
Really?
Yeah, he lived like right across this little teeny valley that we live in. It's not the Bear Lake Valley, but one of the canyon offshoots. And so you can see his house from my parents' house kind of across this short little valley.
Is that the one with the tractor in front of it?
No, this is different. That's my wife's parents.
Okay, gotcha.
But we leased land from this guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good friend of my granddad's anyway, but every time we'd seen him, he would like, you know one thing? And we'd always go, what's that? He says, no matter how many times I meet with the bishop for temple recommending degrees, I'm always worthy. I'm like, oh yeah, that's an old man grandpa joke.
Yeah, for sure. No matter what I do, I'm always worthy.
Yeah. But I'd love to go. Well, I was younger. And so I'd go there when like either my dad or my granddad was farming the ground or something like that. But the two fields came together and there was this canal up along the top that bordered the mountains there, the forest. And there was kind of this angled piece where the water could be let down into these fields, but it had a great place of trees and stuff. And man, we'd spend hours and hours playing in those. That was the best thing.
That sounds great.
Forts! Every kid needs a fort.
Every kid needs a fort.
Yeah. So I had a natural grown one. We spent hours in that thing. But
say I'm very grateful that I grew up where there was like land behind me that that me and my brothers could just go and roam and play and have fun. That my parents weren't like scared and didn't let us go out alone. You know, like I don't know. We never actually got hurt, but I'm just glad our parents allowed us to. I feel like too many kids miss out on that chance.
Yeah, I do too. My kids didn't have that opportunity. And I grew up in an area, you just walk out of the back of the house and I could, walk for days without running into somebody else.
You know Hyde Park?
Mm-hmm.
There's that school there. So there's the gas station and there's that school. Well, across the street from the school is where my dad grew up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he sorry.
I've been in several of those homes.
Yeah. White brick?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
You been in that one?
I've been in that house.
For what?
EMS stuff.
I guess that wouldn't surprise me too much. Both him and my grandma are gone now. It's now owned by my cousin who is renting it out. He made it look really good. Anyways, I digress. My dad would tell me about how back in the day he would walk out his backyard with like a gun and his dog and go hunt.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was what was behind them was nothing. And you have to go... Now the mountains and... Now the houses in Hyde Park go clear up to the mountain. Like, you can't...
Yeah, there's no space.
And there's more restrictions now on where and when you can hunt and stuff like that, too. Like,
yeah, you pull a gun out and shoot it now, the cops will be there in minutes. So, I can't imagine that kind of like, I'm going to go hunt a pheasant and just... You're off. Yeah, but I'm like you. I'm a firm believer in country living. That's why I want to get out of the city so bad.
Yeah.
But the way the house prices have gone around here, holy crap.
Apparently it's... So, some people are leaving Utah because house prices outside of Utah are cheaper.
Oh, really?
I thought it was like a housing market in general, but I bought a table from somebody who was moving to Mississippi, and he was talking about how much... I think Mississippi, I'm not sure. But he was talking about how much less it cost there to get a house.
Well, and we were looking it up the other day because my daughter had come home and said something about there weren't very many homes for sale in Cache Valley.
No.
And I looked it up. There was only like 60 something.
Yeah.
And I've looked in the past because I'm always looking at houses. 200, 300 is usually the normal.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's down to the 20s. Like Nibley itself, there'd probably be about 40 to 50 homes available, and there's 4.
Yep. And there's way more than that who want to buy.
They're all under contract.
Mm-hmm.
And, like the homes the size of my house now are going for $400,000, $450,000. And not even 6 months ago, they were $300,000. And
yeah,
I didn't buy mine for that much. Not even close.
See, now is when you sell,
right?
And move to the country. That's why you sell and build. No,
you can't either.
No, I know.
If like a 2x4 has gone from $1.98 to almost $5 a piece. It's like criminy.
Though I do sense that eventually it's going to come, perhaps not crashing down, but it's going to spike down a little bit. I'm thinking if it gets down to about where it was 5 years ago, I might just, even though I don't need to buy a house, I might just buy a house anyways because it's just going to be cheaper, affordable, and then when it comes back up eventually, I'll just sell for a profit, maybe, or just have a house then at that point.
Yeah, so like our senior warden, he took advantage of it. I mean, his parents wanted him and his wife to come live with them, and he sold his house and made pretty good bank. So otherwise, he might not have.
That's true. Actually, he's not
COVID market.
He moved without having to buy a house at all. Yeah. So when he does move, again, hopefully it's when the housing is down.
Yep.
He'll have made a profit.
Yeah. So
or maybe he'll just keep the house he's in.
Yeah. Right now,
once his parents are gone.
He's thinking about building a house out there on property next to his parents.
Yikes.
That's what the plan is.
Yeah. You might want to wait for when the timber goes down.
Yeah. Right now, it's super expensive. But here in the valley, there are apartment and condos going in everywhere.
So the company Westlake Chemical in stocks, it's WLK. They're pretty much above all the people who make like pipe, like PVC pipe, and those prices have gone way up and might go up more. They're hoping that they'll come down in June. So I'm hoping that maybe those stocks will bring an advantage to me.
There you go.
Who knows?
You never know.
Oh, I was going to tell you, a while back I bought GoPro stock when it was like $8 or $9.
Oh yeah?
And for a while there it was at like 14. And so I sold it and I bought $10 worth of it and I sold it for like 16 some odd cents. So made $6 profit off my $10.
That's not bad.
So next you know, I'll be affording a house in this current market because I'm just getting wealthier by the day.
There you go.
So I'd look at that one stock and do some research about where prices are to go, and maybe you could turn that into a profit.
You could.
So
those are my stocks of.
And whoever's listening, take advantage of that knowledge. It might be too late. I don't know. They're hoping the prices will go down in June.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But they might not.
My stocks haven't been doing so well with the new administration. Things have gone back down, so mine, I'm still at a profit, but not as much as I was.
I think I mostly am. I bought some that were low.
Now's the time to buy, though.
Yeah, exactly. So I bought some that were low, and they've kind of like gone a little bit lower, kind of stayed the same, which is fine, because it should come back up eventually. But I'm enjoying this stock thing, man. This is a lot of fun.
It's kind of fun. Kind of fun to dig into and play with and watch it every day.
I think I told you this already, but my dad, for his birthday, gave all of his kids $100 and said, "This is to invest." And I was like, done. So that's 2 people now who have given me $100 and said, "Hey, get going." And I was like, all right.
Go make some money. Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fun stuff.
And he said that if we wanted to get him something, he'd rather us take the money that we were going to spend on his gift and invest that instead. So I was like, all right. Which I didn't do. But yeah. So, yeah.
But the earlier you do it, the better off you are. So right now I'm to the point now where I've got to really focus on my retirement. I've got about 20 years left. I got to get my poop in a group, so I make sure I and my wife are covered, and I started investing, so I got to do some catch up. I'm behind.
You have like the usual things that you plop into and wait, whatnot.
Yeah, I got 401ks and Ross and that kind of stuff, but I've not maxed out contributions. But now I'm to the point where like, it's time to pull that trigger.
This is why I usually face the mic towards you.
It's because
you usually talk that quietly. So what have we discussed so far? Current lodge situation, and the housing market.
In Cache Valley. Don't move here, especially if we're from California.
Yeah. We're full. Don't move here. It's at full capacity. We don't want you. Move someplace else.
Yes, and Idaho is at capacity as well.
Yeah.
Wyoming's okay. You can go there.
Yeah. You can move to Salt Lake all you want. Who cares? But stay. We are full here. Sorry, there's just no more room, especially for all you commies coming in from the west. We don't want your...
From the country of California?
Yes, exactly. We don't want your... See, if Jason was here, he'd be like, we have to cut that out.
No, we're leaving it in.
See, that's when I like what Jason... He cares about what people think, and I don't. So it was a pretty good balance.
I'm not so much either.
I say, if somebody gets offended at what's a joke, screw them. it's not my fault.
To heck with them.
But it is good to be a bit more, and I've been trying to work on that, because I took a hard swing to, not caring, and so I'm trying to find, the balance of what's appropriate or not,
Yeah. You do a better job at that than I do. When I was your age, oh my gosh, I was not nice person. So, and my kids will sometimes still say I'm not.
Well, so I read this thing, The Art of Manliness, on his Instagram page. Each Sunday will do what he calls a Sunday fireside. And it's always great. It's always great. If you don't have an Instagram, it might be worth it just for that. Although actually, you can probably find that on his website too. So if you don't want an Instagram, just go to his website. Anyways, I thought it was Jason who got us off track. Turns out it's me too.
He trained you well.
Yeah. But he had one about the difference between being nice and kind. He's like, look, it's not nice to tell somebody the truth about what they need to change, but it is kind. And people spend too much time being nice and tiptoeing around, we're all walking on eggshells around here. Sometimes it's kind to give somebody the blunt truth, or not, it's kind to not be nice sometimes. And I was like, all right, and that kind of helped me. Am I being kind in the things I'm saying, or am I just being rude, And so, because I don't really believe in being nice. It's just a waste of time, anyways. But if what I say can't be deemed as either a joke or me being kind, then it probably shouldn't be said, So.
You bring up a good point, though, because we're told to whisper corrections in our brother's ear when needed, and sometimes we don't do that, and it's needed. I'm a person that I like feedback, and it won't offend me if you tell me, Gary, quit doing that. At least I won't kill you today. I might later in your sleep, but
might later.
Yeah. No, that's just it. Yeah. Sometimes we don't take the opportunity to say, hey, brother, look at what you're doing here. Have you thought about doing it this way instead? And here's why. I'm the type of person that was I'm going to make it sting, so I'm going to tell you in public, you so-and-so, you SOB, you need to quit doing that and do it in front of the whole congregation or lodge or whatever.
The whole group?
To try to press my point, but that just creates animosity. So I found myself catching myself at work, because I now manage a group of about 20 people, and I catch myself at work making sure, as I'm typing up an email for changes in corrective action, not to point somebody out in front of the whole group. I'll just go talk to them about that one thing.
Yeah.
And it makes much better sense.
And not to get all churchy here, but there is some Mormon scripture that says after you tell somebody off, it phrases it differently, but after you give that kind correction, that kind but firm correction, to show them even that much more love, so that they know that you're on their side. And that's sage advice you can find, I'm sure, in lots of places. But it's true. If you tell somebody, hey, what you're doing is not good, but later you're just kind to them still, and they realize, oh, this guy's on my side. He's not out to get me. He's not being a jerk. He actually is. Yeah. So,
but the other thing you brought up, we had after the degree on Tuesday night, there were just the four of us standing here in the lodge. Supposed to have been going home, but we were having a good conversation.
So I left too soon, but I needed the sleep, man.
I don't blame you. But we were having a conversation, and one of the brothers brought up the topic of respect. And how now when our kids go to school, and we probably saw this when we were going to elementary school as well, as the teacher would say, we need to show everybody respect. And then this one brother said, wait a minute. And he's the type of person that always questions authority, which is good.
I can bleep out his name later. Who is this?
It's Seth.
Oh, yeah, okay. I like Seth.
Yes.
But I'll bleep out his name.
Okay. But he goes, no. Respect is something that is earned. It is not automatically given. I can be courteous to you.
You can be kind.
I can be kind, yeah, but I don't have to respect you.
Mm-mm.
And then we got to talking about it, and I was like, you know what? He's absolutely right.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right. There are people that demanded my respect that didn't deserve it or had earned it. But I like the way he phrased it. It was a really good conversation. But where was I going with that? Down a deep dark hole of nothing.
Well, it's all part of what we've been discussing of giving. How to treat people has kind of been like what I would do, like the broad topic of the past few minutes of how to actually treat people.
Right. So I can be courteous to you, but I don't have to respect you.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully me treating you courteously. Yes, I don't know English either. I soon gain your respect, and eventually I'm sure that gets reciprocated.
Ideally, yes.
Yep. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time. These should be coming a little more frequently. And Jason, you suck.
Ooh, okay.
The hosts of the From the North podcast are providing this podcast as a public service and for their own selfish motives. It is neither a legal interpretation nor a statement of any Grand Lodge, local lodge, or any Masonic body or Freemasonry in general. Any reference to any specific product, subject, or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation. The rantings, tomfoolery, and views expressed by the guests and the host are absolutely their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them, any Grand or local lodge, or any entity they represent.
Some would it be?